Welcome to the Friction to Freedom podcast, where the mission is to support you as you tap into the best and highest expression of yourself. My name is Janet D. Thomas, and I am the captain of the ship for this particular podcast, where the focus is always going to be about the idea that internal shifts can lead to external success. And we are going to explore this idea as we do, focusing on two things: neuroscience and self-discovery tools. These two things combined, when it comes to the idea of shifting internally, can be very, very powerful and actually very, very life-changing. So when it comes to the idea of internal shifts leading to external success, I invite you to consider that you are your own best authority. So remember to take what you can use and leave the rest behind. All right, so let's get into it. Had an episode a couple episodes back where we talked about why can there be so much friction when it comes to other people. And this has to do with neuroscience when it comes to prediction scripts and how our brains love to function very efficiently and go on automatic pilot and just predict that future behavior is going to be the same as it has been in the past. So we're going to take these prediction scripts, the idea of them, and we're going to change the question today. The question today is actually, why can there be so much friction within myself? Where is this friction coming from? And that is what we're going to discuss today. And I'm really excited about it because with this discussion, I am going to share one of my favorite self-discovery tools. And for me, it's been a game changer. And I invite you to practice it. Could be a game changer for you too. And here's how it goes. First, we're going to talk about zip code. What is the zip code? Now, what I would say the zip code is when it comes to your internal friction. A zip code is the place in your thinking where you land that's home base for you. That's the home where you live within your mind and within your thinking. And let me give you an example. My personal zip code growing up was, I am no good. That was the mantra that was playing in my head all the time. That's what became entrained because with time, focus, and repetition, which is how the brain learns, with time, focus, and repetition, it became entrained for me. I repeated that to myself again and again that I was no good, and I believed it. And that's what became entrained. Now, how I arrived at that was that I had non-preferred experiences, and I thought that if I was a good girl, those things would not have happened in my life. And it had to do with things that happened within my experience, but also the things around me, where I saw some painful things. Oh my gosh, one day I remember I was in elementary school and I saw these kids at the bus stop, and this one kid was really upset, really like he was really in a bad place. And this other kid was just innocently just standing there at the bus stop. And the other kid just literally punched him right in the face. And he fell on the ground and he was crying, and it was horrible. It was horrible. And to me, that was a non-preferred experience that impacted me. And I thought, well, because these bad things are happening around me and sometimes to me, if I was a good person, they wouldn't happen. So I decided that the only thing that made sense was that I was no good. If I was good, these things wouldn't happen. So therefore, I must not be any good. And that was what made sense to me. So that's what I thought all the time. Well, I'm no good. And that became my zip code. That became the place where I landed all the time when it came to things that happened that I felt badly about. I'll give you an example. I would see on TV where there was a snowstorm back east and people were trapped in their cars and they couldn't get out. And in my own thinking as a young one, I was thinking, well, people are in trouble. I cannot fix it. I can't go out there and help them. And because I can't help them, that meant that I was no good. So even things that I couldn't control in my own thinking translated to the fact that I'm no good. So it was a no-win for me because in the inside, I had this friction that was habitual. And there was no getting around it. That was just how I thought. And no matter how much I ran from it, no matter how much I tried to pretend that it wasn't true, it always landed back there because that's what was entrained in my brain. It's just how it works. Whatever you focus on becomes entrained and automated. Now, here's my favorite tool about learning how to have that shift internally and disrupting the automatic pilot that our brain can be on, and especially when it comes to how we see ourselves. Because I am of the belief that internal shifts can lead to external success, and there's nothing more important than shifting a negative thought pattern where we beat ourselves up over things. And because we beat ourselves up over things, there can be a non-deservability that's in there where we don't attract the things that we want. If we feel like we're no good, when we get treated badly, we justify it. Oh, well, that's because I'm no good. So this is the kind of thing that I need to be used to. Why do we have to stay there? We don't, is my point. So here's the tool that I absolutely love that I want to share with you. And basically, the thing that I call it, it's called neutralization. Now, the self-discovery tool, neutralization, can be a game changer. Perhaps it can be a game changer for you like it was for me with practice. So let me share with you how this game changer works. Let me give you an example. So when something happens, we naturally go into a story about it. The brain loves to connect the dots and tell stories. So what happens is we naturally can tell a story about something. And especially for the things that are non-preferred, we tell ourselves a story that we land on our zip code of whatever that may be. So let me give you a generic example, okay? Let's say that you're a mom, and let's say that your sixth grader, Johnny, missed doing his homework. And because he missed doing his homework, he was in detention. And when he was in detention, he actually missed a field trip that was happening because he had to stay in detention. So here's how we could look in a mom's mind. It could be, okay, I didn't realize that Johnny didn't do his homework. And he didn't do his homework. He landed in detention. He missed the field trip. He's not going to get the tools that he needs. If he doesn't get the tools and the education that he needs, he's not going to live a successful life. And if he doesn't live a successful life, that means that I'm a bad mom. And because I'm a bad mom, that means that I'm no good. And this can happen in the thinking so fast, where it goes from Johnny's in detention and missed the field trip to I'm a bad mom and I'm no good. And then what happens with that train of thought is we can get dysregulated in our bodies. We get dysregulated. We go into that fight, flee, or freeze state where we feel absolutely unsafe and our body feels unsafe. And then it becomes like a snowball effect. It becomes this avalanche that can happen. So we can jump from Johnny missed the field trip to I'm no good, if that's your zip code. And it just naturally can go to that place. So this is what the invitation is for this particular tool when it comes to neutralization. In the train of thought that you have, one thought sparks another thought that sparks another thought. Johnny missed the trip. He's not going to live a successful life. I'm a bad mom and I'm no good. What if you were to disrupt that automatic pilot prediction script in your head? What if you were to disrupt that? This is how you can do it, by neutralizing it, by just describing the facts, just the facts of something. So the facts in this case are Johnny's been missing some homework assignments. As a result of that, he got detention and he missed the field trip. That's the only fact, just the facts. Anything other than that is your thinking process, your train of thought about that thing. Does that make sense? So when you slow down your brain, when you're spinning out of control in your mind, when you slow down your brain and describe just the facts, what happens is it gives you an opportunity to look at things differently. It gives you an opportunity to disrupt that predictable cycle of landing on something, landing on your zip code where you beat yourself up. It gives you an opportunity to see it differently. Well, he's in detention. He missed the field trip. Maybe it doesn't mean that he's going to miss his education and not be successful and not be a bad mom. Maybe this is his incentive to make sure that he does his homework so that he doesn't miss out on things. Maybe that's what this is about, but it has nothing to do with you being a bad mom. Those two ideas are not connected unless and until we connect them. And that's where the friction is in our own minds when it comes to ourselves. And then we get dysregulated. So what we can do, here's the invitation. When you find yourself spinning, and it's like paying attention to your thoughts and where you land in your thinking with your zip code. When you stop thinking that for just a moment and saying, hang on, hold on, just the facts here, what's the fact here? It's a non-preferred experience, it could be, right? I missed my bus. I'm going to be late. I didn't do well on that test. Just the facts. I see that a car is going down the street really fast. Just the facts. Just the facts allows us to slow down our thinking enough in order to potentially use our imagination to create a different scenario about that thing, and a scenario that doesn't beat ourselves up or gets our body dysregulated. We have the ability to do that. Let me give you another example. In my high achieving state and in my love of working, in my continuous quest to always do the best that I can. When I was at the office, and let's say that my boss's door was closed. Whenever the door was closed, I automatically thought I was getting fired. I automatically would go, his door is closed. He's in a meeting talking about me, and I'm going to get fired, and I'm going to get fired, and that means I'm no good. Every time that door closed, I thought it was about me, negatively. And by the way, it never was, never. And I beat myself up. I had tremendous friction in my mind about this for a long time. So here's the opportunity. And this is what I would do. I would practice this with myself. And it was practice about being mindful, because I started getting stressed out and, okay, I'm going to get fired, and then I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. I'm not going to be able to raise my kid, and the blah, 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 all this non-preferred stuff, just a free-for-all with this negative stuff. So I would be mindful, and I would say to myself, okay, Janet, look, the door is closed. That's it. He's in his office with the door closed. Just the facts. Just the facts. And what I could do is now, because it spins so fast where I go to the fact that I'm no good and I get dysregulated, I could start doing the things that regulate my system again. I can start to shake out my hands. I could pause. I could take some deep breaths. I can listen to my breathing. I can hum or I can sing. But the things that I'm doing, and I could say to myself, I'm right here. My feet are on the ground. Everything at this moment. My body has comfort. I'm enjoying looking at that nice painting on the wall. I'm safe right now. And my body has comfort. There's no immediate physical threat. There's no threat right now. I can talk myself down. When I talk myself down, I can release the attachment to the negative thinking at that moment and say, just the facts, just the facts. He's behind closed doors. And that's it. So any disruption in the negative spiraling of the thinking, the friction on the inside with this inside zip code of non-deservability, any time you can stop that motion, it's a wonderful thing. 1 second less of beating yourself up is fabulous. Those seconds can turn into minutes, but it takes time. It takes focus. It takes repetition in order to rehabilitate ourselves on the inside. So the neutralization is something that I really invite you to start practicing. Practicing identifying things with just the facts. Oh, I go outside. I'm planning to go to a meeting. I have a flat tire. It doesn't mean you have a flat tire, you're going to be late for the meeting. You're going to be late for the meeting. Your life is over and your life is over and you're no good. It doesn't mean any of that. All it means is that you have a flat tire. That's just that fact. So here's what that allows you to do. Here's what that can allow you to do. It can allow you to separate and to pay attention to and notice your own thinking process. What part of this is fact and what part of this is the fiction that I'm creating? And when you can separate out what the fact is and then what the story is that you're creating, you can get more familiar with how your mind is working and assess that and be observant. Like, oh, I'm observing that I'm beating myself up. I am observing this thing. And when you're observing it, it takes you out of it in a way that you can explore it differently instead of being on automatic pilot with that very predictable zip code that you go to. Neutralization for me has been a total game changer. And I want to share one other item with you for your consideration. When you were younger and you experienced some non-preferred stuff that is not connected to your value at all, the non-preferred experience that happened has nothing to do with your value. You are absolutely valuable exactly as you are and exactly as you were. Non-preferred things were happening. But when we're younger, and the brain loves to tell stories, it loves to connect the dots. And when we're younger and our brain is not developed enough to really understand adults, adult behavior, relationships in that way, we are not developed enough to understand that. So we keep it really simple. We can keep it really simple and attach it to meaning that we're bad. Oh, my mom and my dad aren't getting along right now, so it must be my fault. I'm bad. And it seems to make sense. And so when we put 2 and 2 together in that way, and we continue to believe, oh, well, if they don't get along, that means I'm bad. If this next bad thing happens, or this next thing that I'm unhappy about happens, that must mean I'm bad too. So we can habitually say to ourselves, I'm bad, I'm bad, I'm bad. And that becomes entrained. That becomes the zip code. And that becomes the automatic pilot that we go to all the time. So I am saying, just consider the idea that what happened when you were younger is not connected to your value or your worth at all. At all. So when you think about this, when you imagine this idea, practice understanding that you can talk about just the facts. And when you understand your own thinking in there, that's when you can start working with it simply by acknowledging it and understanding it and without judgment. That itself can be a fact. Okay, the fact is there's a non-preferred experience, and the fact is I'm beating myself up in my head about it. And that's all that's happening. And you can give yourself the opportunity to make a different choice. Does this require patience? Yes. Does this require time? Yes. Does it require focus and repetition? Yes. In the first episode, I provided a quote by Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee, who was a famous martial artist, absolute master, said this. He says, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I do fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." That simply means that the more that you practice something, the more it becomes automated. And imagine if you practice giving yourself a break from that old zip code, neutralizing something, calling it just the facts, and then doing what you know how to do to regulate your nervous system. What's going to happen is that you're giving yourself an opportunity to see things differently and disrupt your old prediction scripts. Just the facts will help you do that. And this is when it comes to the inner friction that we have with ourselves. Shedding some light on that, even in one small way, can be an absolute game changer. So I invite you to practice neutralization as often as possible. Just describe the events without judgment. Just describing the physical events without judgment can be a game changer. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about this as we continue on this journey of inside shifts can lead to external success. We're going to talk a lot more about this because it feels to me that it really is science. It's physics. What you are emitting is what you will receive. So if we are emitting a vibe that is like really, really grounded in our own value, when we talk to ourselves nicely, when we acknowledge what we did to survive and give ourselves acknowledgement and understanding and allowing the kaleidoscope of voices within us to peacefully coexist with harm to none, including ourselves, keeping ourselves physically safe and keeping other people physically safe. Just imagine what we might be able to do as far as these internal shifts that then can translate into external results and success and feeling really, really wonderful about ourselves and our lives. That's what this is all about. And I really appreciate you hanging in there with me today as we talk about neutralization. We're going to do more of that, absolutely. And if you have any questions or comments or something that you'd like to share, if there's a light bulb going on or something, absolutely feel free to reach out to me on social media, Janet D. Thomas on Instagram and Facebook and other things. Also, my website at janetdthomas.com. And you can send me an email as well. And I look forward to hearing your thoughts about it. And when you have some good stuff come up, some of those aha moments, I really love to hear about those as well, because the whole point is for you to get what you need from the inside from yourself. And that way, you absolutely have control over your life in ways that you could have never imagined otherwise. My name is Janet D. Thomas, and thank you very, very much for being with me today. And I look forward to seeing you next time.